Lights. Music. Let's get Christmassy. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Chelsea, and today I'm going to be raving about some indie authors that I have read this year. So I've been very lucky. I have been sent 3 of the 4 books that I am going to be talking about today. So I'm going to show you how beautiful these books look. I am going to talk you through a brief synopsis of each of these books, and I'm going to tell you where they currently are on Goodreads, as in like how many reviews they've got, and what I thought of the book obviously as well. So let's stop chatting and let's start supporting indie authors. So the first book on this list I'm going to put here because I haven't got my physical copy just yet, and that is Paladin Unbound by Jeffrey Spate. Now this book is 4 stars. I really enjoyed it and I've read it really recently actually. So our main character, let me like draw you in. The main character is half orc and he leads a band of mercenaries, and unfortunately tragedy does befall him and it kind of spirals off like another set of events. Now I'm going to read you the Goodreads like synopsis blurb of this book and of every book that I've got here, so that I can give you the exact description that the author has said that they want to describe their books. Obviously I've just given you a brief synopsis of me in my own words, but obviously someone else writes it a lot better and more concisely. So this one just says, the last of a dying breed, a holy warrior must rise up against a growing darkness in Everlium. The most unlikely of heroes, a lowly itinerant mercenary, Umra the Peacebreaker, is shunned by society for his mongrel half-orc blood. Desperate to find work for himself and his band of fighters, Umra agrees to help solve a rash of mysterious disappearances, but uncovers a larger, more insidious plot to overthrow the natural order of Everlium in the process. As Umra journeys into the depths of Telsador's keep to search for the missing, he confronts an ancient evil, and after suffering a great loss, turns to the god he disavowed for help. Compelled to save the kingdom he loves, can he defeat the enemy while protecting his true identity, or must he risk everything? So obviously that description is way better than my ramblings, but anyways. This book currently has 35 reviews and it is a 4.07 rating, so I think that's pretty solid. I rated it 4 stars, I really enjoyed it. If you love fantasies and adventures and half-orcs and mercenary bands of misfits, please check this out. It's so good. You can get a physical signed copy of this book from the Broken Binding. I'll link where you can kind of find these books down below if I can find them. I believe 2 of them you can get from the Broken Binding and 2 of them you can get from Amazon, and I'm not too sure where else you can get them from apart from maybe the author's websites. But yeah, so you can get this fantastic book from the Broken Binding, and I believe it's a signed edition, but the link will be down below so you can check it out. The next book is Shadowless by Randall McNally. I was very kindly sent this copy of it from Randall himself, so thank you very much, Randall. I gave this book 4 stars. So I have read this in a vlog, or many a vlog I think, and as I was describing this book, the writing style is really difficult. I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's very unique, and if you give it the time and get through like the first, I think it's the 100 to 150 page mark, it all becomes really clear and the writing style just kind of comes together and makes an amazing story. So this is well worth the wait. It is a bit confusing the first couple of chapters because you don't really understand, because every chapter is from a different perspective and they kind of end at one place and you wake up somewhere completely different where the character doesn't know anyone else. It's worth it, trust me, 4 stars. I really enjoyed this. So the summary for this one is, what if the gods themselves wanted you dead? A young boy lies on a beach on a warm summer's day. While trying to block the sun from his eyes, Arthurius makes a shocking discovery. He has no shadow. Confused and bewildered, he asks his uncle why he is shadowless. What he learns is a terrifying secret that will change his life forever. Set in the Northern Realms, Shadowless is a fantasy novel about individuals born without a shadow. Born by the malevolent deities of this world, these children of the gods are persecuted at every turn. Hunted by the high priests who carry out the wishes of their gods. Hunted by the Shadow Watchers. armed soldiers who were assigned to each temple and hunted by the gods themselves. Part mortal and part god, the Shadowless live for centuries and face a battle for survival, constantly on the run or hiding in far-flung corners of the northern realms. Soon their lives and fates become intertwined, expedited by the mysterious monk Amrodin. Driven by a series of visions, Amrodin travels through the northern realms, seeking out the Shadowless and trying to enlist their help to take a stand and fight back against the gods. Now, the ending of this is fantastic, and I didn't see it coming. I did say in my wrap-up and other places as well, I'd be really interested to know if there is going to be another book, if this is going to make a series. I think it's a fantastic standalone by itself. But there are some questions that I got at the end that I was just like, oh, I kind of want these answering, but I don't know if I'm going to get an answer for them. So this book currently has 55 ratings and a 4.07 overall rating as well. Once again, I rated it 4 stars. I fell in love with it at the 150 page mark once it all kind of came together and made a lot more sense. So you can buy a copy of this on Amazon, and currently at the time of filming this book in paperback is currently on offer for $3.99, so I highly recommend you snatching it up and getting yourself a copy to read over the winter break if you do have a winter break. So the next book, again, I was very kindly sent a copy of by the author, and that is Small Places by Matthew Samuels. This book is like a crossover between our world and a fantasy world, and I think it's done really, really well. I rated this 4 stars. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Again, it took me about 150 pages to get into it and get into the swing of things, but once you're there, it's amazing. And the ending, honestly, once I finished this book, I was messaging the author at the end and I was like, I need to know what happens in the sequel, because I just need to know what the answer to that cliffhanger is, so I will be keeping an eye out for when the next book comes out. So the blurb of this is: the best of intentions, the blackest of magic. Jamie's a lonely, anxious kid when he has a run-in with a witch in a remote Somerset village. He's almost forgotten about it 13 years later when unpredictable storms and earthquakes hit England, and that's the least of his worries. Suffering from anxiety, terrible flatmates, and returning to his family home after his mother is diagnosed with cancer, he's got a lot on his mind. But Melusine, the witch of flesh and blood, lures him back with the offer of cold hard cash in exchange for his help investigating the source of the freak weather. Something's messing with the earth spirit Gaia, and Mel means to find out who or what it is. As they work together, travelling to the bigoted Seelie Court and the paranoid Unseelie Court, meeting stoned fauns and beer-brewing trolls, Jamie must reconcile his feelings about the witch's intentions and methods, all while handling grief, life admin, and one singularly uptight estate agent. So this book takes place partly in Somerset, partly in the Cotswold and Gloucestershire area, which I really resonated with because I grew up in those areas when I was younger, and it does cross over into a bit of London. That is where Jamie starts off, and you know what, I think this book really does a good job of encapsulating how life can get on top of you when grief or something really hard-hitting affects your life. I think it's done really, really well. So like I said, I gave this 4 stars. Currently on Goodreads, this has got 27 ratings, and again, an overall average of 4.07, so another one to definitely check out. And you can buy a copy of this on Amazon for, I think it's currently $7.99, or if you've got Kindle Unlimited, it's actually featured on there as well currently. So I do recommend, if you've got means for either, picking this book up and giving it a go, because I'd love to know your thoughts on it. And my final indie author that I have had the pleasure of finding this year has got to be the one and only Ryan Cahill of Blood and Fire, the first in the Bound and Broken series. I don't know how many books are going to be in this series. This is stunning. So this is the edition that I got from the Broken binding. It is a hardcover. We have got this. It is signed and dated on the inside, and I believe currently they still have signed and dated editions on the Broken binding website. So this book is fantastic. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. I love this. I love the prequel novel The Fall. I'm going to read the ARC. I've got a physical one once again. I say it every time I mention it. Ryan, if you're watching, thank you so much for sending me an actual physical copy. I'm so excited. I love it. This is such a good world. So the synopsis or blurb for this one is: born in fire, tempered in blood. Etheria is a land divided by war and mistrust. The High Lords of the South squabble and fight, only kept in check by the Dragon Guard, traitors of a long time past who serve the Empire of the North. In the remote villages of southern Etheria, still reeling from the tragic loss of his brother, Caelan Briar prepares for the Proving, a test of courage and skill that not all survive. But when three strangers arrive in the village of Milltown with a secret they are willing to die for, Caelan's world is ripped from under him and he is thrust headfirst into a war that has been raging for centuries. There is no prophecy. His coming was not foretold. He bleeds like any man, and bleed he will. And oh my god, I love this book. I love it, love it, love it. So much. I rave about this constantly. So this was a 5-star from me, and on Goodreads this is currently sat at 818 reviews, which total in an average of 4.35 stars. So I think that's pretty good. So this is the most reviewed book currently, but I do know that Ryan has been getting a lot of hype recently, and that is exactly the sort of love that I want to start giving other independent authors that I have discovered, and that's why I wanted to make this video. Hopefully one of my goals for 2022 is to discover more debut and indie authors to support, and not just ones that get picked up by like book boxes and stuff, because as much as I adore my book boxes, I really do. If you didn't know, I do book box battles every single month between Illumicrate and Fairy Loot. As much as I love the books that come in that, those boxes are so heavily subscribed that I don't necessarily think they always pick up unknown books, which is good, and I understand why that happens. I want to find more indie adult fantasy authors because I found this and I loved it, and I found these two and the Paladin Unbound, which I can't show because I haven't got a physical copy, and I loved them, and that's what I want to do in 2022. So there are 4 indie authors that I have discovered and loved this year in 2021. Please do go and check them out. I'll have links down below for you to check out their books should you wish to. And yeah, that's everything for today's video. So if you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up, really supports me and my channel. Leave me a comment down below of an independent author that you think I should give a chance, because I want to honestly read more. I think it's fantastic. And if you don't want to tell me a book, or you don't have a book to tell me, or you don't want to have a chat, please leave me the pen emoji for the authors that have written these amazing books. And if you want to see more of me, please consider subscribing down below and ringing that notification bell so you get notified every single time I upload new videos. I'm currently uploading a video every day until Christmas Eve, but after Christmas my standard schedule is a Wednesday and on a Sunday if you want to see more bookish content from me. But otherwise, that is everything for today's video. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow for another video. Bye.